Today's review is sponsored by The Count of Monte Cristo, the greasiest revenge story ever told. Payback can be slippery.
Watch it, Alan. I'm shooting.
Society.
Didn't you know, Billy Boy? The rich have always sucked off low-class shit like you.
Today we're looking at one of my favorite body horror movies. One that takes a while to get to the crazy body horror, but once we get to the third act, things get very gooey. Trust me, we'll get to that. Society is a great body horror movie. While it does have its fans, it's never been held in the same regards as things like The Thing or The Fly, but it is grouped in the same category as classics like Reanimator, From Beyond, and Street Trash. Street Trash is a classic, I don't care what anyone says. Society is one of those 80s practical effects camp fests that made 1980s horror so much fun.
Let me give you a hand, Bill.
Our main character is a young man named Bill Whitney. He's a member of so-called high society, but he has always felt like he doesn't really belong in his community. He feels like he doesn't belong in his family, feels like he's way too different from his family. He feels so different that he thinks his family isn't really his family. And these feelings of isolation are so strong that he's sent to a psychiatrist who's trying to tell him that he needs to, relax and become a functioning member of society. Things get worse when his sister Jenny attends her coming out party. This is when a younger member of the rich elite is introduced to the rest of the members of high society. Bill gets an audio recording from the event, and it sounds like his sister and his family took part in this weird, incestuous, murderous orgy.
I'm a little nervous, though. It's fine. Oh, relax, Jenny. Just go with it. It's so much fun to see how far you can stretch. Yeah, the hotter and wetter you get, the more you can do.
As Bill starts looking further into this, there appears to be an obvious cover-up. Everyone around him seems to be hiding something from him, gaslighting him, and, just keeping all these secrets around him. He sees people every now and again appearing to be deformed or misshapen in these weird little ways. And this all builds up to one of the craziest third acts you will see in a body horror movie. Just a heads up, later on in this video when I am talking about the infamous third act, I am going to have to get into mild spoilers. I'll try not to reveal any major plot points, but I do have to have some spoilers in order to talk about what this movie is building up to, so just keep that in mind if you have not seen Society. Society has a reputation for being this over-the-top, gross, slimy, practical effects body horror sleaze fest, which it is, but that doesn't happen until the third act. The majority of this film is sort of this conspiracy thriller. Bill learns that there's something weird going on in his community. He's trying to figure it out. There's a cover-up. Most of the people around him seem to be against him. It's an interesting mystery that keeps us intrigued while we're waiting to get to the crazy, slimy body horror stuff.
Let's get this one out of here.
Yes, Doctor.
Easy. Hold this. Disconnect that cord. Where do you want?
You could say that Society is a slow burn horror movie. It starts out as this conspiracy thriller with body horror happening around the edges of the story until we get to the third act and it becomes a full-blown body horror movie. And it is well worth the wait, but it's a wait that we don't mind given how the story is told. The movie does a good job at giving you little nuggets of body horror during the mystery conspiracy shenanigans. There will be times where Billy will look at somebody and for a moment their body seems to be slightly deformed or bent or shaped in a way that a human being can't really bend or twist, and then he'll look back at it again and the person will seem completely normal.
Clarissa?
Billy?
The fact that Bill is seeing a psychiatrist and the fact that he does have these feelings and thoughts that he doesn't belong with his family, it gives a hint of that unreliable narrator. So at first we're like, okay, is he really seeing this stuff? But it's made pretty obvious that he's being manipulated in some way, so we are on his side throughout this film, and we know that he is really in danger of something.
I'm not in on anything, but I followed you to Franklin Canyon last night. I saw Petrie and Ferguson coming out of the woods. Petrie was wrapped in a blanket. Then some old station wagon showed up.
The movie is filled with those fun 80s characters. Everything is heightened a bit, but it's not heightened so much that it ruins the tension. It's the right amount of camp, which mixes well with the suspense to keep everything suspenseful. It's a good mix.
The morgue? He isn't dead, he just got here.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, you're not sorry. There's been a mistake.
Now, please, we don't want to have to call security.
This does lean towards a horror comedy, but I will say it's one of those horror comedies that leans a little more towards the horror. Because yes, there is a lot of fun to be had in this movie, but there's still a lot of tension and a lot of moments where we're saying, holy shit. There's a good amount of sex in this movie, and sex does seem to be a core part of the film. It seems that, at first it seems that the whole thing being covered up here is this incestuous orgy. The movie is not afraid to explore less conventional bedroom activities. There have been stories throughout history about celebrities and rich people getting together for these weird sex parties, and the movie does explore that quite a bit, especially when we get to the third act.
Get it off. No.
Which brings us to what I know you all want me to talk about. The shunting scene. This is where we're going to get into the spoilers, some spoilers. Again, I'm going to try not to reveal any major plot points, but I'm going to talk about some stuff here. Also, there's a lot that I cannot show because YouTube has no appreciation for the perverted arts. So anyway, let's get into it. The movie builds up to this body horror orgy known as the shunt. It's this scene, again, I'm not going to give any major spoilers here, but we're going to talk about this a bit. Basically what this scene is everybody merging together into this mass of slime, tentacles, liquids, all these misshapen bodies and transformations mixed with all this sucking and horny moans. It's quite a sight to see, and I cannot show it here. The third act is when we get all the crazy imagery that society is known for, and it's well worth the wait. It deals with some wacky ideas, but the whole movie is entertaining, while the third act is what we want to see, and it is the main course of this film, we do not mind the rest of the movie because it's all entertaining, with a good mystery and entertaining characters, keeping us watching until we get to this scene. And of course, as with many movies like this, the third act is made all the more impactful because of the build-up to it. So, while the third act is the big part of this movie, is the best part of this movie, I have to say that the whole movie is great, just because of that proper build-up in the characters. This is a movie that, while the third act is the best part of the movie, I cannot say that it detracts from the rest of the film. Society is such a gross movie, but it's the fun, crazy kind of gross. You know, that fun gross you get from 80s horror movies, and it's one of the more fun body horror movies, with really good effects, entertaining characters, an interesting mystery. It all mixes together so well with the gooey body horror elements. Society is just a blast. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse rankings. I'm not going to reveal the body count because it gives too much away. All I will say is the kills are anything but normal. It reaches the body horror requirements with grotesque transformations, deformed bodies, and plenty of slime to go around. There is a lot of nudity in this flick, especially when we get to the third act. This movie isn't afraid to delve into the sex. The weird practical effects sex. The body horror doesn't really come into play until the third act, but it is well worth the wait. The practical effects are great, creating some wacky, gross images. There's a good mystery in this movie. It keeps us engaged while we wait to get to the infamous shunting scene. And the characters are entertaining, once again, keeping us interested while we wait for the body horror. There are a lot of great body horror movies out there, but if I had to pick, I would say Society is one of the most fun body horror movies. I'm giving this a 4.6 out of 5. This is such a good body horror movie. I think Society would make for an interesting movie night. Just let your friends know they're in for something gooey. As always, I want to thank all of you for continuing to watch and support this channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think is the most fun body horror movie. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die. And happy shunting, everybody. That's gross, I'm sorry about that.